In this video, we're going to cover how to add, insert, append, and branch events and decisions in whatifi. This is fundamental to how we build scenarios, and this quick tutorial will give you a better sense of how to do that and when you can and can't perform certain actions. To start with, to click on any of these events to bring up the menu. These menus are context sensitive, so you'll notice sometimes this orange plus button is available. In other scenarios, it is not. You can also hover over these lines in between to also bring up a menu for each of these branch locations here. To start with, let's start by appending an event. We're clicking on the expense event here at the end. Because there is nothing downstream from here, we can add a new event by clicking the plus button. Just to be quick here, we're going to use our recently used tab and drop in an event here. Now I'm going to use the add now, fill later, which allows us to quickly build out a framework without filling in information. So here we have appended an event. Reminder, at any particular stage you can delete an event as well. Click the delete button and click yes. So that's appending an event. We can also insert an event. So between two, I can click on the more button here to get the plus menu, add the insert event button here, and I'm also going to go to the recently tab, and this time I'm going to use the employee event and say add now, fill later, and that is now inserted between the two. We cannot branch or create an A-B type situation from any standard event. That can only be done with a decision event. So here now I'm going to take my employee event here, and instead of adding a new one, I'm actually going to copy and paste. I'm going to copy the event. I'm going to click on the event that I want to append and branch from, and I'm going to click paste, use the paste duplicate event here, and now I have a second branch. So that's one way of creating an alternate scenario. Or I could have used the standard menu here, click the branch and event button, and add an employee or a revenue or an expense event from this menu. To connect events back together to perform more downstream calculations, select the event that you want to start from, click the connect option. Anything that is connectable will get an orange border around it. So for example, I'm going to click on the expense 1 event here and come back here to complete the connection, and now I've created that branch and brought it back together so that I can then add downstream connections from this, say for example a unit cost event, to kind of carry on our scenario. But again, a reminder, I can't branch from an event like this. I can only insert in between these. So in this tutorial, we've covered how to append an event to the end of a scenario. We've covered how to branch, which can only be done from decisions. We've covered how to delete and connect events, and also how to insert events in between two existing events. Now the next question here is about order. Some events pass information downstream to the next event, and as a result, the order in which these events are added does matter. So for example, right now we have a unit cost event. It's quite common for after a unit cost event to have a revenue event. Information in the revenue event requires information from the unit cost event in order to calculate. If this revenue event was upstream of the unit cost, then it would cause calculation problems. Other types of events here are really location agnostic. So for an example, an income can be calculated at any time, an expense can be calculated at any particular time there, and the order of the events doesn't necessarily matter in those situations. As you use whatifi, it will become more obvious which events require upstream events to exist and where that isn't necessarily required. And that's how to add, branch, insert, and append events in whatifi.